Welcome again to our Economics in 4 course. We are doing Module 3 and we're all about the choices that households will make. And remember the previous videos we were talking about the demand and supply, where these two determine what will be the equilibrium that needs to be established within the economy. How much to demand, how much to supply, and where these two meet, that will be the equilibrium demanded at that given price. So now we're on to what would be the budget line for these households to determine what they must buy, how much of it they must buy, and with what they must buy it. And these are all the choices that they are going to make. And we're going to start off with the individual demand curve. So what does that explain to us? This chapter completely studies how people change their choices when conditions such as income or the changes in the prices of the goods or would affect their choices that they are making. Like I said now right at the beginning, there is a budget line that households need to take cognizance of. They can't overspend, otherwise they're going to fall into debt. But they will need to know what they're going to buy, what is a normal good, what is a substitute good, and those inferior goods that we dealt with in the previous videos will all come into play while we are doing this specific chapter. So it also deals with the new choices, what the households would make, determining the specific goods that they are buying and what is on the budget. The main result of this approach is to construct an individual demand curve. So what do we know about demand? Demand law, or the law of demand, states if the price increases, the demand will decrease. If the price drops, the demand will fall. Yes, obviously, if something is cheap, you will buy a lot of it. And the minute the price increases or spikes or hikes, then we're going to start lowering our want to buy that specific item. Can we continue? Demand functions. If we knew a person's preferences, for example, now we're going to go back to the economy with the diversity. We spoke about the income group. We spoke about the status, we spoke about lifestyle, we spoke about culture, diversity, we spoke about gender, race, and values that they are having in the specific households. So a household of 3 people, for example, let's take my own household. We are 4 and we are 2 children, 2 adults, 1 boy, 1 girl, and obviously the parents. And now we also have certain demands that we want. We're going to look at schooling, we're going to look at food choices, we're looking at, for us as adults, the transport that we use, etc. So we're going to need to look at what do we prefer over and above our counterparts in other families, in other diverse cultural denominations, etc. live. And we will not look at what we deem as normal goods, inferior goods, and what we say it is the cultural differences or the diverse demographics that will determine the preferences of the household's budget. Enough said. This chapter would summarize the information in the demand function. A representation of how much quantity demanded depends upon the prices, the income, and the preferences. So again, we spoke about preferences. We said the taste, value systems, cultural diversity. We spoke about income, the budget line, and we spoke about prices, how it affects what you will buy and how you will buy it. In a formula scenario, quantity of X demanded of product X is the price of one good opposing to another good, the income and the preferences. let it sink in. It's prices of one good opposed to another good, the preferences for the one good and the other good, and your income in order to buy those goods or to make the choice as a household what to buy. Preferences appear to the right of the semicolon because we assume that preferences do not change during the analysis. Why? You want to buy what will satisfy your need as a household. Homogeneous demand. Homogeneous meaning it stays the same. It looks the same. Homo, it is the same. Individual demand functions homogeneous since quantity demand does not change when prices and income increase in the same proportion. So the demand here will stay the same irrespective whether the price change or whether the income of the household changes. Something that you're going to have to buy. You're going to always demand that specific product, irrespective of what the price is. You need to get to work, so you need to put in petrol. Irrespective of what your income is and what your price is. Yes. Maybe you're going to not drive the distance that you're used to, but you need to buy that specific product. There will always be a demand for that product, irrespective of what the price is or what your income is. The budget constraint. Now we're looking at the price of X plus the price of Y equals your budget line. So what you're going to buy will be determined by your income. So whatever good you buy of one specific item and how many you demand of another specific item will be determined to your budget line. And that is why we say the formula needs to be of price of X, price of Y equals your income, which is your budget line. Homogeneous, irrespective of how much you buy of a specific product, how much you demand of a specific product, it will not be affected by price and income. It looks as follows. Graphically, the lines are the same. Now, we're going to have a change in income, and I think now we're going to have to look at the different budget lines of different households. Because I could be a single parent, and it will be different to a two-parent home, or where there is perhaps a grant coming into the home, or other socio-economic issues that is impacting on the income. So let's see when the income changes. When a person's income increases while prices remain the same, the quantity purchased of each good might increase. So that was the previous video when we spoke about normal goods. Your income increases and you're going to buy more. And I think I made the example of going for a cup of coffee, which is 3 Rand at McCafe, and you usually buy 5 cups at X amount of income. But if your income increase, now it will go to the 3 cups, the 5 cups going to 8 cups, but staying at 3 Rand a cup. So as the income increases, so with the demand increase, or the number of cups of items that you would buy. So we would say that if there's a change in income of a normal good, as income increases, so your demand for the product increases. For an inferior good, as we would see also later, that's why we will just go through the PowerPoint. An inferior good is one of the following. When your income increases, you get so used to the product, you would buy more, but not as much as if it would have been a normal good. So inferior good, although the income increases, demand will increase, but not as much as it normally would. The situation is shown in figure 3.1, and where the increase of income is shown as the budget line. So we're looking at the budget line, income 1, 2, and 3. The slope of the budget line are the same since the prices have not changed. So we're going to look at the same slope, but because the price didn't change, we will look at the change of the budget line. There's income number 1. And there's your choice of a product. Now your income increases Y1. And there we go. A definite shift to the right. You'll see here at product 1 or income 1, you had that specific product there. But the minute your income increased, you'd have that scenario. There we go to an income 3. So as your income increased, so you purchased more. That is a normal good. That's correct. Now the changes in income. In response to that increase in income, the quantity of X purchased increased from X1 to X2 to X3, while the quantity purchased of Y also increased from Y to 2 to 3, because you kept on buying of it, more buying, because you have more buying power, as what we have said. Increases in income make it possible for a person to consume more, reflected in the outward shift in the budget constraint that allows increase in overall utility. Utility, how much use can I get out of that product for a specified amount? And there's just to recap on the normal good that we've explained previous video and just earlier. We alluded to a normal good is one that is bought at greater quantities as income increases. I want you to remember always that McCafe coffee. At 3 Rand, you bought 5. As you increased in income, you then went to buy 8, but at price 3. So as your income increased, so the price of the product also increased. And that product is a normal good. When you opt to buy more of a specific product. If the quantity increased more rapidly than the income, the good is called a luxury good, as with good Y. So why are we saying that? A luxury good is because you can and you need it, or you want it, you can afford it. The buying power is there. So that we call a luxury good. If the quantity increases less rapidly than income, the good is called a necessity. Let that sink in. A luxury good. You have a car, but you want a better car. Yes, I got a promotion, so why not buy a better car? A necessity. I've been taking a bus all the time, and I think transport is now needed. Okay, so necessity is something that you need. A luxury is over and above. It's like a want. Inferior goods, recap before we end this session. An inferior good is one that is bought in smaller quantities as income increases. So, like I said, now you don't buy 8 cups, but you still buy 5 cups now. Just 2 more cups than what you used to buy before you increased in your income. And there we go. We will just see it now. Goods sort such as whiskey. I usually bought the whiskey or would buy something of that nature, but I'll buy less because I'll buy whiskey but not that same label. Potatoes, second-hand clothing are examples of inferior goods. You need goods, you need clothes, but you will not buy second-hand clothes that much because you had an increase in income. Your choices from what you're going to buy, how much of that specific product you're going to buy, opposed to X and Y, that is all plotted on an indifference curve. An indifference curve is a curve that maps out your choices of the product that you are demanding. I'm going to go to the next slide. And you can see how as an income increase from I1 to I2, your choices then also have a shift. At income 1, you were choosing Y1 and Z1 products. At income 2, you were choosing Y2 and X and Z2 products. The third income, excuse me, so changes in a goods price. A change in the price of one good causes both the slopes and an intercept of the budget line to change. And the change also involves moving to a new utility maximizing choice on another indifference curve with a difference in marginal revenue. So as your income changed, your demand for that product changed. I'm going to go back to that curve. You had 1 and that was your choice of Z and Y, that product. Then your income changed and said, no, let me choose so much of 2 and so much of Y. So my income changed again. Now I'd rather buy that amount of product of Y opposed to that amount of product of Z. So as you can see, as the increase of income, your choice change, and the combination of these choices leads up to a difference curve. An indifference curve maps out your differences of choices. The quantity demanded of the good whose price has changed changes. In the next video, part 2, we will be discussing the substitute effect and the income effect on these curves. Thank you very much.